Hey, how you doing? This is Craig back. And would you look at the lockdown haircut I've got going on? It's pretty bad, isn't it? How many guys are walking around with this exact same haircut these days? I've just about got used to it, but my wife hasn't. In fact, I've had this haircut for 2 months now, and my wife was still laughing at me last night. I said, "What are you laughing at?" She said, "You look like an egg from the back." Not very nice, is it? Anyway, so I'm here at a private hospital today. I'm having the COVID-19 antibody test today. Back in February, when I came back from Quit Drinking Boot Camp in London, I was ill for 2 weeks. Now, I didn't have a fever or a cough, so it probably wasn't coronavirus. It was probably just a cold or a bug I picked up on the plane, but it'd be good to know if I've got those sacred antibodies that everyone wants. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm early for my appointment, so I thought I'd jump in and make a video. And this is about how you get the mindset and the mentality to tackle your alcohol problem. Because I'm getting a lot of emails from people saying, lockdown has increased my drinking significantly. And I've always known I drink too much, but I kind of had an angle on it and I kind of had a hold on it when I was working. But since lockdown, and I've had a lot more time on my hands, I found that I'm drinking earlier in the day, more frequently, more often, and it's making me feel ill. And the loop is accelerating. That's a very common situation because, lockdown is forcing a lot of people to deal with their mental health. And a lot of people have issues that they've buried and pushed to the back of their mind and covered with work for years and decades. And here we are in lockdown, and suddenly we're confronted with our own thoughts, and it's scary. So I wanted to talk about how you get the mentality to deal with this problem once and for all. Because there are kind of a million ways not to do it. There are a million ways not to stop drinking. Because I tried most of them. And there's 1 or 2 ways that work. And so if you do this on your own without any help or advice, your chances are you're just going to stumble around in the dark, landing on one of these unsuccessful ways. And it's going to bore you. You're going to spend years just going around in circles, not quite being able to control or moderate your drinking. And one thing I've learned over the last 10 years of helping people with problem drinking is that everyone in this problem, myself included, has a really good reason for drinking. We're very good at justifying our behavior to ourselves. And, often people will come up to me and say, "Craig, I've got a terrible drinking problem, but let me tell you why." As though they're going to be able to say something, and I go, "Yeah, oh man, yeah, you should drink. That's definitely the best solution." It's like, when I posted on Facebook at the start of this coronavirus thing about how alcohol is the worst thing you can introduce into your life at this point, I got a lot of abuse. A lot of people were posting things like, "Don't be an idiot. This is the exactly worst time to stop drinking. We need alcohol more than ever in this difficult time." That doesn't make any sense. Because logically, think about it. We're in the middle of a viral pandemic. And how can adding in a poison that damages your immune system and causes significant harm to your mental health be in any way a benefit during this time? And yet, millions of people around the world believe that it is. And they don't just believe it, they're 100% sure that they're right, that alcohol helps. And everyone who comes to me has a reason why. And it's hard to listen to sometimes because some people are really suffering, they're really struggling. And when someone comes up to you and says, "Craig, I'm drinking 2 bottles of wine a night, and it's making me feel terrible. I'm sick of it. I'm miserable. It's destroying my relationship. But it's because I buried my son 2 years ago, or because I'm going through a divorce, or because my father died, or because..." There's always a because. And the person telling me it is 100% sure and certain that it's validation of their actions. And you can see it in their eyes. They're expecting me to go, "Oh yeah, I can see why you're using alcohol. Good idea." And often they'll just keep repeating the same point over and over again, no matter how long I talk to them. Sometimes I do coaching sessions with people online and I talk for an hour, and no matter what I say, they come back with the same statement. But it's because it's like they don't want to hear anything other than what validates their explanation. So how do you deal with this? Well, step one in dealing with problem drinking is to take 100% responsibility for your problem. Now, I'm very careful about my language there. I don't say blame or fault or anything like that. I say responsibility. Your drinking is not your fault. You are not to blame. All I'm asking you to do is take responsibility. And what that means is you can no longer come up with an explanation. You can no longer point to something external outside of you and say, it's because of that. Because as long as you point to something external and say, it's because of that, you will not beat this problem. Because you'll always be able to find plausible deniability for your actions. You'll always be able to defend drinking because your belief system says, I drink because of this. So step one is to remove that crutch, to say, I am responsible for fixing this situation, regardless of what is going on. The second thing to do is to take action. Because the world is full of people who fall into the shoulda, woulda, coulda camp. They know what they want, but they never do anything about it. How many people on this planet want to be rich? Most of them. How many do something about it? And how many people just sit paralyzed by indecision and fear, scared to take a risk, scared to change something, scared to learn something new, paralyzed by indecision and inactivity? There's a crazy stat that something like 80% of people who buy a self-help book never even open it. Isn't that crazy? And you know what? Even I'm guilty of that. I must have 20, 30 books on my bookshelf that I bought because there was some part of my life that I didn't like or was worried about, and I never opened it. It became one of these shoulda, woulda, couldas. I should have read it. I will read it at some point, I promise myself. The chances are I'll go to my grave never having read half of those books. So, those people, if you're going to be like that, you're not going to have success. Whatever those books are about, I'm never going to be a success in those areas because I don't have the motivation and I don't have the passion to take action. So it's really important that you take responsibility and then you take action. And you might think, well, what is that, Craig? How do I take action? And this is where people get hung up. This is where people have a problem because we overthink it. And we start thinking, well, just doing that's not going to help, is it? But it's not about one act. It's not, you don't get up one day and push one button or read one book and then that's it, job done. That's not how it works. Some people email me and say, I bought your book. Is that all I need to do? I don't really want to pay for the course because surely the book should be able to do it. And I think, well, where is your mindset? Where is your head that you think that you can fix a 2-decade-long drinking problem by reading one book? Like there's going to be one sentence in that book where, it just waves a magic wand over your head and everything suddenly gets better. It's not how it works. The secret to success in everything in life is passion and consistency. It's about getting knocked down 1,000,000 times and refusing to stay down, getting up every single time and taking one step forward. And so to take action, what I mean is buy the book and read it. Go and get all your alcohol, tip it down the sink. And don't think about it in too much detail. Just do little things consistently. Keep doing it. Little things, little things. Watch YouTube videos on how evil this drug is and how you escape it. Read the good books. There's great books out there. Annie Grace is fantastic. William Porter is amazing. Jason Vale is very good. There are so many good books. Start reading them. Commit to joining me for one of my online webinars. They're free. They happen every day. You can get on it right now. StopDrinkingExpert.com. Book your place. It's just these little things. Doing little things towards your goal and keep doing it. That's how you get success. The most important message I want you to take away from this video is you gotta dump the victim mentality. And people get very upset about this. People get very, very offended because they say, Craig, you don't understand. It's all right for you. You have a cushy life. You have this and you have that. I'm struggling here, you know. I live with a partner who's seriously ill. My kids are struggling at school. My job doesn't pay enough money. I don't have enough money to pay the bills. It's all right, you sitting there. You don't understand what my life is like. And they're missing the point because my life was like that. Honestly, I was flat broke. I owed tens of thousands of pounds. I was absolutely broke. I was in a terrible relationship that was failing and falling apart. I had to take a job 200 miles away from my young children because that's all I could do. I was waking up every morning in a one-bedroom damp flat, a bedsit, at 30 years old. And I can't tell you how depressed and how much of a bad place I was. So my life is good now. But, you know, a big reason for that is that I stopped drinking poison on a daily basis. I decided to take action. So it doesn't really matter where you are or how valid you believe your reasons are. Victim mode won't help you. In any area of life, it will get you warm words from friends. It will get you sympathy. But it won't get you anything else. It won't get you what you want. And a lot of people can spend a lifetime living off sympathy. But when you get to the end, you won't look back on that life and go, that was great. I got so much sympathy for my terrible life. You will look back with regret, and you will look back and realize that 9 out of the 10 people who expressed sympathy were actually glad that you had the problem. Because isn't that the truth? Sadly, that most people kind of enjoy the misfortune of others because it makes them feel better about their own life. You can count on one hand the number of people who actually care and genuinely feel sympathy for you. So stop feeding the egos and the vulturous tendencies of these people. Leave the victim mentality behind and make a decision today. Enough is enough. Time to stop drinking, and you're going to take 100% responsibility for it. Thank you so much for watching me with my ridiculous lockdown haircut, and I will speak to you very soon. I'll let you know how the test goes. And if you do want to join my webinar, go to the website right now and sign up for it, stopdrinkingexpert.com. I'll even give you a copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, free as a gift for turning up. How good's that? Thanks a lot. See you soon.